Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Govinda Jaya Govinda divine grace is compound so easy bound to be done to stand Jai Jaya Vishnu Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Astotra Satasasana divine grace Vivakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Brahma Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavi Jai Namacharya Saharidas Gurki Jai Pranti Kahao Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Sri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Jai Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Jyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Mathura Ki Jai Sri Mayapura Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai Sri Jagannathpur Dham Ki Jai Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya Ki Jai Sri Sri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Sama Veda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Nitya Gaura All glory to the Son of the Lord Jesus. All glory to the Son of the Lord Jesus. All glory to the Son of the Lord Jesus. All glory to the Gaura and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, text 32. The title of this chapter is the universal form. And this is the good time to apply the principle of proper mention about utility of the principle. So all of you have smartphones. This is time to use it. Sri Bhagavan Vacha.
Sri Bhagavan Vacha.
Kalosmi Loka Chaya Kripa Vrido.
Kalosmi Loka Chaya Kripa Vrido.
Lokam Samahatum Iha Pavritaha.
Lokam Samahatum Iha Pavritaha.
Ritapittvana Bhavishyanti Sarve.
Ritapittvana Bhavishyanti Sarve.
Eva Siddha Pratyanikeshu Yudhaha.
Eva Siddha Pratyanikeshu Yudhaha.
Sri Bhagavan Vacha.
Sri Bhagavan Vacha.
Kalosmi Loka Chaya Kripa Vrido.
Kalosmi Loka Chaya Kripa Vrido.
Lokam Samahatu Iha Pravitaha.
Lokam Samahatum Iha Pavritaha.
Ritapittvana Bhavishyanti Sarve.
Ritapittvana Bhavishyanti Sarve.
Eva Siddha Pratyanikeshu Yudhaha.
Eva Siddha Pratyanikeshu Yudhaha.
Get someone to it?
कालोस्मि लोकक्षयकृत् प्रवृद्धो
Kalosmi Loka Chaya Kripa Vrido.
लोकान् समाहर्तुम् इह प्रवृत्ता
Lokam Samahatum Iha Pavritaha.
तेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे
Ritapittvana Bhavishyanti Sarve.
एव स्थिता प्रत्यनीकेषु योधा
Eva Siddha Pratyanikeshu Yudhaha.
Next.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Kalosmi Lokashayakrit Pravriddho.
Kalosmi Loka Chaya Kripa Vrido.
Lokan Samahartum Iha Pravrittaha.
Lokam Samahatum Iha Pavritaha.
Ritepi Tvam Na Bhavishyanti Sarve.
Ritapittvana Bhavishyanti Sarve.
Eva Stita Pratyanikeshu Yodaha.
Eva Siddha Pratyanikeshu Yudhaha.
Anyone else?
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Kalosmi Lokashayakrit Pravriddho.
Kalosmi Loka लोकान् समावर्तमिह प्रवृत्ताः
तेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे
तेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे
एव स्थितः प्रत्यनीकेषु योधः
येव स्थितः प्रत्यनीकेषु योधः
Anyone else?
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयकृत् प्रवृद्धो
कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयकृत् प्रवृद्धो
लोकान् समाहर्तुमिह प्रवृत्तः
लोकान् समाहर्तुमिह प्रवृत्तः
तेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे
तेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे
एव स्थिता प्रति अनिकेषु योधः
येव स्थितः प्रत्यनीकेषु योधः
Anyone else?
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयाकृत् प्रवृद्धो
कालोऽस्मि लोकक्षयकृत् प्रवृद्धो
लोकान् संहार्तुमिह प्रवृत्तः
लोकान् समाहर्तुमिह प्रवृत्तः
तेऽपि त्वं न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे
तेऽपि त्वां न भविष्यन्ति सर्वे
एव स्थितः प्रत्यनीकेषु योधः
येव स्थितः प्रत्यनीकेषु योधः
Thank you. What for word translation? Sri Bhagavanu Vacha.
श्रीभगवानुवाच
The personality of God is said.
The personality of God is said.
Kalaha.
कालः
Time. Asmi.
अस्मि
I am.
I am
Loka.
Loka
Of the world.
of the worlds
Shayakrit.
Shayakrit
The destroyer.
the destroyer
Pravidaha.
Pravriddhah
Great.
great
Lokan.
Lokan
All people.
all people
Samadhatum.
Samahartum
In destroying.
in destroying
Iha.
Iha
In this world.
in this world
Pravitaha.
Pravriddhah
Engaged.
engaged
Greeted.
created
Without
Without
for.
except for
Happy.
happy
Even.
even
Twan.
from
You.
you
Now.
now
Never.
never
Bhavishanti.
bhavishanti
Will be.
will be
Sarve.
sarve all
Ye.
ye
Who.
who
Avatistaha.
avastitah
Situated.
situated
Prati. Nekeshu.
pratyanikeshu
On the opposite sides.
on the opposite sides
Yuttaha.
Yoddhah
The soldiers.
soldiers
The Supreme Personality of God has said, Time I am, the great destroyer of the world. And I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the conquerors, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Please kindly respond to me. The Supreme Personality of God has said,
the Supreme Personality of God has said,
Time I am,
time I am
the great destroyer of the
the
world.
great
the great destroyer of the world
And I have come here
and I have come here
to destroy all people.
to destroy all people
With the exception of you, the conquerors.
with the exception of you the Pandavas
All the soldiers here
all the soldiers here
on both sides
on both sides
will be slain.
will be slain.
God. Although Arjuna knew that Krishna was his friend and the Supreme Personality of God, he was puzzled by the various forms exhibited by Krishna. Therefore, he asked further about the actual mission of his devastating force. It is written in the Vedas that the Supreme Truth destroys everything, even the Brahmins. As stated in the Kata Upanishad 1-25, Yasya Brahma Chana Chatrancha Ube Bhavata Udumna Mrityo Yasyo Paseshana Ka Ita Vedayata Saha. Eventually, all the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and everyone else are devoured like a meal by the Supreme. This form of the Supreme Lord is all-devouring giant. And here Krishna presents himself in that form of all devouring time. Except for a few Pandavas, everyone was present who was present on that battlefield would be devoured by him. And Jonah was not in favor of the fight, and he thought it was better not to fight. When there would be no frustrations, then there will be no frustration. In reply, the Lord is saying that even if he did not fight, every one of them will be destroyed. For that was his plan. If Jonah stopped fighting, they will die in another way. Death could not be checked, even if he did not fight. In fact, they were already dead. Time is destruction, and all manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. That is the law of nature. Oh, again, Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Saharodha Gurudaya Puspovanto Shila Chandro Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Lord Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Namaste Saraswati So, welcome again everyone to this gathering. It's a little bit challenging because it's a weekday and people have to go to work tomorrow. So we will not take you to the night. We'll just be snappy as much as possible. But it's interesting, the audience here, you're all very much enthused, although it's a weekday. I see so much enthusiasm from the audience here. And enthusiasm is what sustains learning in devotional culture. Enthusiasm is also what sustains consistency in devotional association. Enthusiasm also is a motivating factor for being able to sustain our daily sadhana. When enthusiasm wanes, we run into unmanageable problems. Then we begin to think, what am I doing? And some people even think, why am I wasting my time here? Because enthusiasm has waned. And so what traditionally happens is that, we need to think about the time we join and see and reflect on how we're very enthusiastic and strategize how to rejoin Krishna consciousness. That will help us in maintaining sustaining our enthusiasm. But I see that you guys are very enthusiastic. So which is a good sign. So this very text, Professor Oppenheimer, how many of you know about Professor Oppenheimer? Oh, a lot of people. Okay. And for those who don't know about Professor Oppenheimer, he was one of the guys who spearheaded the innovative creation of the atomic bomb, and he detonated it. And when he detonated the atomic bomb, he quoted this verse. And so people who do not know, they think that this guy is such a high-profile, learned, philosophical scientist. No, but he read Bhagavad Gita. But he using the words of Krishna to suit his own whims and caprices. So he quoted this verse. Similarly, we can also read the Bhagavad Gita. We can also study the scriptures and do selective hearing, selective quotations, selective interpretations that suit our whims and caprices. And then we become like small, new. And we don't want to be, like Oppenheimer, who use the scriptures to suit his own whims and caprices. We want to understand the intentions of Lord Krishna, what he wants us to do, and be able to align with those intentions. Because one thing is to be able to hear the instructions, even read the Bhagavad Gita. Another thing is to implement even a dime of those instructions. Because when we do practice something, we can become regenerative in a time of need. If we don't practice, even take, for example, the celebrities, they're very busy rehearsing. They're very austere. Some of them don't even sleep the whole night, rehearsing, especially when they're preparing for a project, when they're preparing for a stage. They rehearse a lot. And so practice is so important in our Krishna consciousness. And it's just like the medical doctors, when you finish from medical school, you need to practice. If you're not practicing, you're not called a medical practitioner. You're a doctor, but you're not a medical practitioner. There are two things there. Because sometimes some people finish from medical school and they choose to become businessmen or businesswomen. Look for other avenues to make money very quickly. And so, devotional culture also implies that we have to become devoted practitioners. If we are devoted practitioners, now we have to implement these very instructions or these very statements of Lord Krishna in our lives by understanding that time is destructive. And Krishna is claiming that he is time. And so sometimes people are hesitant to worship Krishna, or they're hesitant to surrender to Krishna, or they're hesitant to do anything in relationship to Krishna. But it is because of lack of sufficient accumulated or cumulative pious merit. And sometimes we get worried. I know cases, some of my friends, I know the case of one retired banker in Washington. She was very helpful to me at some point before she retired. So we used to talk on the phone, and I asked her, she had a girl who is a journalist, but then the family members were not participating. They were not involved in Krishna consciousness, and she was really getting frustrated. So I remember one day, we were speaking on the phone, I asked her, how are your parents doing? She said, Margaret, I feel like I'm just going to dump those people. Yeah. So my response to that was, okay, because you're a devotee and you feel everyone around you should just be devotees, it's not difficult, right? But it doesn't work like that. So Lord Krishna also mentioned in the Gita, Bhavana Janamante Jnanava Yaprapadant Vasudeva Sabhati Samahana Sudura. Su is in the superlative degree. In fact, you have good, better, best. Bad, worse. Su is in the superlative degree. And so Krishna is saying that it is very, very rare to find Vaishnava or professionally, you is treading on the path of regulative practice in devotion, loving devotion to Him. And because of the reality, He said, they're Mahatmas. You're great souls. So there are great souls, and also there are creepers, duratmas. Those who are not treading on the path of devotion and loving service, again, we don't have any cause to be jittery over people who are not on treading on the path, because it's just like you should not be disturbed when you see people of higher profile skills. Because it takes only people who have great endeavor, perseverance, to go for high profile skills. People finish their first degree in university, they're heading to the workforce. Very few people will say, I want to go to graduate school, I want to go for a master's program. Over 90% of the students who graduate, they're moving forward to the workforce. I remember I met one young man in Boston. I was in Boston and he was driving me around in his early 20s, occasion. So I asked him, who owns this car? He said, my mother. His mom owns the car. I said, why don't you go to school so that you can get your own money to buy your own car? He laughed at me. He said, Maharaj, you know, I graduated from high school. And you know why? Because the law in Massachusetts is that if you don't go to high school, you will be arrested. Your parents will be arrested. So for fear of arrest and imprisonment, I endeavored and graduated from high school. And he said, he went on to emphasize that, Maharaj, 18 years. I am done. He can't do more than that. So, the point is that, you see, not everyone is going to take this path you're treading on because they've had enough. They've had enough. They don't have sufficient security. And therefore, devotees need to be exceptionally patient with people around them when they find that they are not aligning with the system based on their expectations. We should not be having over expectations from people. Because we are not going to check their spiritual balance to see whether they are qualified to chant Krishna's name or to perform devotional service. So I told that lady, see, you think the process is very easy because you are doing it. And because your parents are not doing it, now you want to, you want to show them that, hey, you're superior, get out of my life. I say it doesn't work that way. So you calm down. And essentially, time kills all of us. I remember when I was younger, working in the Justice Department, we had this conception as young men that, after work, because we live by ourselves in our early 20s, and, after work, we go to find somewhere, we say, go find somewhere to kill time. But no one actually kills time, According to Krishna, time kills all forms. And therefore, the watchword is that we don't abuse time. To abuse time is very dangerous. Because time is precious. And there are a lot of repercussions that come with abuse, especially in America. If you've been your child, If you abuse your child and they come to the police, you're going to jail. That's when you know that the child is not actually your property. It's property of the government, that you are just a county. Abuse is very dangerous. And I was just sharing with somebody who was before I came to the class now. I get a talk in New York, Brooklyn Temple, on Sunday, and after the class, a young man came to me and he said, "My God, all the things you said, you are talking to me." I said, "How? Why?" He said, "I had a lot of anger. I lost my family. My wife got fed up with me. I snap all the time, yell all the time, and she got fed up. And then she left with the 2 children. And since then, he has no access to the children." And the wife said, "See, you want to see your children? Go and sue for divorce. Let's formally divorce, then you can have access to your children. Otherwise, forget it." And women, they mean it. So he was mentioning to me, I said, just do that, so that if you love your children, you want to see your children, that woman, you are telling me you did something really wrong. And a woman is being tolerant doesn't mean that they are stupid. I said she's had enough. So she decided to leave. Not everyone is going to be there for you to abuse them until the rest of your life. I saw a very strange scenario in India, one of these cities near Mumbai. I had a friend there. She's a disciple of Random Swami Maharaj. And she's a professor. She has a PhD in management science. So we like professional colleagues. We went to one conference together at the University of Pondicherry in South India. And she brought her husband with the son to meet me for the first time because she wanted them to see me. And she told me a story. She had a mother and father-in-law living with them. But then the father-in-law was behaving somehow to her, so her husband decided to relocate his parents. So he spoke with the father, "I'm perceiving how you're treating my wife. She's my wife, she's not your wife. I'm your son, she's not your daughter-in-law. So you're not being careful. My duty is to protect her. I'm getting a flat for you and my mother." He said, "Okay." He went to meet the mother and said, "Mama, this is the situation. This is what my father has been doing to my wife. I don't like it. I want to protect my wife. So the both of you will be relocated." You know what the mother said? They said, "This is very good for you. If I ever said something about your father, you people would have been on my neck. It's good you're having experience yourself. I don't have any problem with your wife. It is your father who has a problem with your wife. You get a place for your father. I'm going to go for your father." He said, right from the day they got married, this man has been abusive. And now, at the time that they both needed each other to help facilitate the needs of each other, she said, and now he said, "No, I'm not going with your father to anywhere. Let him go." So, let's be careful how we treat people. Let's be careful how we use Krishna's energies. Let's be careful how not to abuse time, because time is very destructive. I met some people, as I told around, and one of those outstanding situations that I met, a number of young people, sometimes even not young people, who say, "I'm not assisting around because I don't have the time, because of work, because of career, school, whatever." So I had somebody I met some years ago in Michigan, and he was a very brilliant shot. He was doing his specialization, especially in MD at the time. He finished his MBBS in India, and got scholarship to come to do his specialization in America. And so he got attracted to me, so he was traveling with me to different places for programs. And then as we were going from one program, he said, Margaret, can I ask a question? I said, yes, please, feel free, you're my friend. Ask any question you want to. He said, we medical doctors, we don't have the time to chant 16 rounds. So my question to him was, you think you're the first medical doctor in this movement? I said, see, the home I stay in Washington, D.C., the man is a medical doctor. The wife is a registered nurse. They have 2 boys. They have to drive to school every day. They have big deities at home. They have to wake up every day to do Mangaranti before they go to work. They chant at least 16 rounds every day. Hey, let's see how you use the 24 hours of the day. How many hours do you use for sleeping? He mentioned. How many hours do you use for your schooling? He mentioned. How many hours do you use for, say, eating, bathing, and everything else? We analyzed the whole thing, and he got to a point where he was almost like, he busted out, almost like crying. He said, Margaret, please forgive me. I didn't use my time properly. So we complain, we don't have the time to chant. We don't have the time to come to the temple. We don't have the time to come for Sunday. We don't have the time to help our children. We don't have the time to help our spouses. We don't have the time for so many things. Why? Because we are abusers of time. And it's very dangerous. Especially in this age of smartphones and internet. The greatest Maya in this 21st century is the misuse of time in terms of how we use the internet, how we use our smartphone. A number of people I've met, some years ago, they'll be coming to the temple. I remember the case of, a number of cases, really a number of cases. They said they'll be coming to the temple for some years, and they were not chanting 16 rounds. So we analyze the situation. They have the 24 hours, and we are not using their time effectively. And then we dissect everything, and then with little encouragement, they move forward. So when we have someone in our lives that we love, and they are not able to keep up with or practicing, they're not practicing. It is not our position to just point accusing fingers and say, oh, you're so ungrateful. I've been helping you all this time, and you're not chanting. I've been helping you all this time. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. Let's be clear. People need high, pious merit to be able to position themselves as regular chanters of Krishna's names. Krishna mentioned in the Gita, after many, many lifetimes, one endeavors to become perfect. Out of those, we hardly find one in perfect Krishna consciousness. So it's not a joke. I mean, it's like you don't go to the street and then you scatter, go to this home and that home, and then you say, oh, you've done a postdoc. Okay, you've done a postdoc. You don't find that so easy. Krishna consciousness is a postdoctoral studies in religion and philosophy. You don't think that everybody is just going to buy it. But we need to consistently inspire and motivate people around us. So I asked you a question, and I think I raised this issue, was it yesterday I come in this place? Suppose you have a child, you have a kid, and then they say, hey, Govinda, you chant Hare Krishna. Chant and be happy, okay? And they say, Dad, I'm happy. Very frustrating, right? He has defeated you. Because most people, they don't have any argument beyond chant and be happy. And then the child tells you, Dad, I'm happy. I'm happy. In other words, I don't need to chant. What will you do? You carry a whip and whip the child? They will call the police. Therefore, we have to understand that time is not on our side. We have to develop different strategies on how to motivate and inspire people to take to Krishna consciousness. And one of the things I was sharing yesterday was if someone you love is still your child, and this is sometimes we just blame the children, they're not chanting and all that. Did you prepare? Did you prepare well? Did you and your spouse prepare to invoke a soul that will sustain that devotional energy in your family? Or you just enjoy the sex and you're expecting a high profile soul like Prahlad to take birth in a family? Again, see, it boils down to another spectrum. To be married, anybody can get married. Anybody can get married. But to be a grihastha, that is the most difficult aspect of spiritual life. It's more difficult than being a swami. Because the rules. Now tell me, how many of you have read the Govardhan Samskara book? 1, 2, 3. 3 people. The many people here, it's only 3 people who have read that book. And that is the preliminary step into getting married in Krishna consciousness. That's the preliminary step in generating strategies for rehearsal life. Hiranyakashipu did not read, whether he read or did not read it, I don't know. But I can tell you a story, I can give you a reference of why and how Hiranyakashipu was able to invoke such a powerful soul like Prahlad. You raise a good point. Now, in the 20th chapter of the Nrsimha Purana, the narration is there of how Hiranyakashipu had told his wife, what is his wife's name? He told his wife, my darling, I'll be going to the forest for a long time for austerities. She prepared the wife in advance. Prepared the wife's mind in advance. And so, Hiranyakashipu eventually went to the forest to perform some austerities. And these austerities were geared towards enabling him to become immortal. And Lord Brahma, whom he's praying to, he himself is not immortal. And before Hiranyakashipu even went to the forest to perform the austerity, his intent alone created a lot of anxiety for Lord Brahma. Brahma knew beforehand what Hiranyakashipu intended to do. So that gave him a lot of anxiety. And Narada Muni, who is the best of Lord Brahma's sons, he also knew that his father was passing through some anxiety that was being caused by Hiranyakashipu. So as a very reliable son, he went to his father and said, like the traditional, helping son. He said, Papa, you don't worry. I don't have a problem. You don't worry. I'll deal with it. So now that Brahma thought, wow, That's a relief. Brahma, he trusts his son Narada. Brahma himself said Narada is his best of sons. Because he's a perfected soul, pure devotee of God. Not only pure, he spreads Krishna consciousness all over the three worlds. So, when Hiranyakashipu had gone to the forest to perform the austerities, Narada spoke with his friend Parvata Muni that, hey, I got some fun. Let's get involved in some fun. Let's take the bodies of birds and go perch on top of a tree where Hiranyakashipu will be performing his austerities and we chant Om Narayana Namaha. Hiranyakashipu is inimical to Narayana, and this mantra will agitate him and he will leave. It will disrupt his austerity. But Muni agreed. They're good friends. See, friendship matters a lot. In time of need, it's your friend who comes to the rescue. So, Hiranyakashipu went to the forest. Nara and Parvata, they took the bodies of bears and perched on the tree on top where the Hiranyakashipu was performing the austerities on them. And he started chanting this mantra. Om Namo Narayana, Om Namo Narayana. And Hiranyakashipu was really very disturbed. And he couldn't take it anymore, so that disrupted his austerities, so he left. He went back to his palace. And so one day, Hiranyakashipu was having fun with his wife, Kayadi. And an intelligent woman knows exactly when to ask, when to inquire from the husband to extract the facts. She targets exact appropriate time to do that, and the husband can never resist to tell the truth. Kayadi was an epitome of that value. So one day we were having fun, we were having sex. Kayadu asked, my darling, you said you've been going to the forest for a long time. But you came back so quickly. What happened? This narration is there in the 20th chapter of Narasimha Purana. So, Hiranyakashipu, he started narrating the scenario, what transpired when he went. And as he was repeating those syllables, Om Namo Narayana, at that time he did start saying. That was how that powerful soul palace was invoked into Kayadi's womb. Yeah, so it shows the power of the holy name. And therefore, for grihastas, if you want to be a grihasta, you can. See, our grihasta community, we have not started producing sannyasis. We have produced very, very learned devotees. People who got a PhD, went to like under 30, and all those things from Oxford. We have not started producing sannyasis. It's time to do that. It's time to do that. So, you read the Governor Sanskara book, there are so many things you need to do. And I remember also when Prabhupada was giving his first initiation on 26th Avenue, someone had asked, I don't know whether it's Brahmana, the late Brahmana, or someone asked, I don't remember, but that story is in the planting the seed, written by such a Swami, Goswami. And so someone had asked, So for married people, okay, Prabhupada raised the issue. Someone has asked, "Would you want to initiate us? So what is our commitment?" Mr. Prabhupada said, "Oh, you chant 64 rounds." So Hare Krishna, man. They said, "No, we cannot do that." So Prabhupada said, "All right, 32 rounds." They said, "No, we cannot do that." And the Prabhupada said, "Okay, rock bottom, 16 rounds, minimum." And then someone raised this issue of, so if someone is married, how many rounds shall they chant before they have sex to be able to invoke powerful soul? And Prabhupada gave a response, 50 rounds each. And when you chant 50 rounds, you will really be saturated with Krishna consciousness. That is when the real prospect of sex being service of Krishna comes in. Yeah. We see the example of ISKCON. He was chanting, he was repeating what the birds were chanting. That the Prahlad was the result. Just see how powerful the holy name could be. It did not only save, what's the name of this? The one who chanted Narayan?
Ajamil.
Yeah, Ajamil. We know the case of Ajamil, but this is another perspective, of how powerful the holy name is. That if you do this at the appropriate time, husband and wife will do this. So that's why I said that's one of the perspectives that, how many people are going to be able to chant 50 rounds before they have sex at 5 o'clock? At 5 o'clock. So sex is a sacrifice for Vishnu. And if you follow the scriptures, you'll get the results, powerful results. Sometimes I've seen people who blame Krishna. "Oh, Krishna, what is this? I've been serving for 40 years. This is the child you gave to me?" She's not interested in chanting. Why you do this to me, Krishna? Wish to not be passing the buck. So, the important point here is that we should see how we are harnessing our social functions, our family activities, our professional values, professional development, and our devotion. We should integrate them. And that happens with effective time management. If people learn to manage their time effectively, we can progress so much in devotion. We can have a great value in terms of balancing our devotion and our family affairs and our profession. Any comments or questions?
Maharaj, just a comment, I had this doubt, I have a small kid now, and same thing, chanting 16 rounds sadhana, how is that possible, And, you very well explained. I was asking the same question to my mom, a few days back, and she didn't have a right answer, she sent me some videos of, from YouTube, like, watch this, it will help you. Like, no, that's not cutting it for me. But what you mentioned today, is put things into perspective. We need to be very accountable, not abuse time. And, if you're still not finding time, you should go back and, try to account for it, how you're spending it, and which I have not done yet. So,
Yeah, thank you. Any other comments or? All right, in the absence, okay.
Maybe people are waiting there, okay.
No.
So Maharaj, you mentioned about, invoking the child, in marriage. So, like, so many devotees are, here, so many devotees are there in ISKCON, and not everybody's parents were devotees. So how is that they got?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. I mean, it's like a question could also be asked that how is it that someone who is not enrolled in the police force, who did not undergo the training of a policeman or policewoman, follows the rules, follows the road traffic ethics, follows the Constitution? How is that? Some people have that type of security from the past. Some people were devotees, they never completed it. So in this life, they're born into different type of circumstances, situations. And even from while they were growing, or even from childhood, some people are just, they have that inclination. I remember in my case, when I was a kid, I was asking questions. I was born in a community where there was a lot of variegatedness, people who were very rich, people who were very poor, and someone if seated lame. And so those things did trigger some type of inquisitiveness in me. And I asked, people, family members or teachers or whatever. And practically the answer I received was, hey, you're a small boy. You ask too many people. Instead of telling me they don't know. And all of those my doubts and all this stuff, they got completely clear. I read two proper books. 2 books. I don't know, I was a young man working for the Department of Justice. So I saw somebody, just some, what do you call it, child out like this, and brahmachari, child out like this, and all this painting and all those things. So I was coming back from work, and I saw, and I was working in the main city of Port Harcourt. If you Google Port Harcourt, that was the first oil well in the whole of Africa. So we are people from different cultures in that vicinity. But then this guy, as I was coming, I saw people, he was standing by the road, and then people were meandering, instead of coming straight, they were taking like this. Or they were afraid of him. But then at that time, it was like a probing period for me in my early 20s. The things that people are afraid of, I like that. So as people were just, meandering and trying to avoid it, I just went straight to him and queried him, what are you doing here? He was very humble, very sober. He started explaining about the books and their teachings and all this. And so it made some sense to me. So I saw some title. I got 2 books. I remember I got 2 books. And I remember even that devotee, he ended up being the one who trained me Pujari services in the temple. He later died in an accident. But, Prabhupada's 2 books just give all the answers. So people come from different settings, and the question is, my parents, they just enjoy sex, and then I was born maybe by accident or something. They didn't know anything about Gopata Samskara. Okay? But, Krishna has arranged for those who have some inclination, they could be born in any environment, and again, by his sweet will, he brings them over to prosecute devotional life. And the essential thing is that we have to strategize on how to produce high-profile people also in our society. And the science is there. The science may be difficult. Frankly speaking, if somebody who says to be a grihastha is easy, they are not yet grihasthas. No, I'm serious. It's a very difficult job. And when you have a child who is a little bit interested in Krishna consciousness, you should thank God. Because some of the children are not. I know some children. born in this movement, who went to jail for drugs? LP. I know children who were born in this movement, who went to jail for drugs. So, we might not understand or know the value of our being in Krishna consciousness, but try to understand, you come a long way. A long way. So let's team up, come together, and see how we are harnessing our spiritual life with our social life, with our family life, with our professional life, in a bid to accelerating in this life and attaining perfection, so that we don't have to come back again for another material.
Jai.